Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of FPL Podcast with me, Brian, aka FPL Analysis, looking ahead to the brand new season of FPL 2020-2021. I know as the moment of recording, the FPL has not launched the new season yet. Okay, so I would like to maybe give a quick review of my season overall. So I ended up in the overall rank of 71k. Okay, it is not as what I target. My target is actually top 50k. But then I was in top 50k by the way, ahead of game week 38. I was at 37k, but the punt and also the captain choice caused me to have a major red arrow all the way down to 71k. I ended up in game week 38 only with 44 points, with a blank from my captain, David Silva. And then the transfer that I made also didn't pay off. I transferred out Doherty for Brentwaite of Everton, and I took a hit -4 to transfer out Bruno for Sterling, and it turned out that Bruno outscored Sterling with 11-8. So it's a disappointment. The punt didn't pay off, but it's okay. We move on. The good news is that actually 71k is my best rank so far since I started playing FPL. This is my best overall rank. Now, moving on to the new season, we are going to welcome three promoted clubs, and we also need to wave goodbye to three relegated teams. Yeah, therefore, we first wave goodbye first to three clubs who are leaving Premier League to play in Championship. The first one is Norwich. I would like to share my experience with these teams in terms of their FPL assets. Yeah, right. So in Norwich case, I got a Pookie. I got Pookie earlier in the season in the first few game weeks when everyone is hopping into the Pookie party. But the problem is that I didn't get the time to enjoy his major points I remember when he scored 12 points against Man City, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I put him on my bench, and he was a second sub, so he didn't come off my bench. So I got nothing from him. And when I put him in my starting lineup, I remember he kept blanking. Okay, so in the end, I didn't really got to enjoy a lot about Pookie Party. I believe also for Norwich, I think many of the FPL managers had this one, Todd Canwell. Yeah, as a fifth midfielder, a lot of us will have it as a fifth midfielder. But for my fifth midfielder, last time I had John Fleck instead of Todd Canwell. Next, second team that are leaving the Premier League is Bournemouth. For Bournemouth, I quite have a few of their players at the beginning of season, especially with Ryan Fraser, Josh King, even Callum Wilson. I've ever got him for a few game weeks, and Diego Rico, the defender, also got into my team before in the end I sold all of them. The last one is Watford, uh, the team that are leaving the Premier League as well. Watford, I got two players only. First one is Daryl Janmat, uh, and then the second one is Sar. And to be honest, both of these players uh, gave me good amount of points. Yeah, good amount of points when they are in my team. Okay, so Yanmat, I got him, and he got me a clean sheet and a bonus point, if I'm not mistaken, in a 0-0 match against I can't remember the opponent. But then he got me 9 points at that time, and as an enabler as well for Yanmat. And for the SAR, it's very clear since the restart, I bought him for game week 34 and 35 for that 2 week punt, and he got me 10 points in total. So very happy to own this Watford asset. Yeah. So I would like to say maybe see you soon in the Premier League for these three clubs. Hopefully, they can come back to Premier League and we can enjoy their assets again to be put in our FPL team. Okay, then we also need to welcome three promoted clubs: Leeds, West Bromwich Albion, and Fulham. Okay, so in this podcast, I am going to focus more on the promoted teams because it's very interesting to find out new players that come into FPL, especially in FPL terms, yeah, where we are going to find out their assets, which one that we should get early on or which one that we have to monitor, okay. Talking about promoted teams, I think we always need to go with their talisman. Okay, the talisman of each promoted teams, just as what we had, I think, this last season with Sheffield, Aston Villa, and Norwich. We all go with their talisman, like Pookie for Norwich, Grealish in Aston Villa, and also for Sheffield, especially, we focus more on the defenders, like Lundstrom, Lord Lundstrom. Everyone remembered how great he is. Lord, defender, playing as a midfielder, keeps scoring FPL points for us. We also go with the keepers, the Henderson, and then the defenders of Sheffield, the Baldock, Basham, and the Stevens. Okay, and maybe the striker like Oliver McBurney, Billy Sharp. Maybe people have it in the earlier of season. So he don't get the regular start. So I guess in terms of the three promoted newly promoted clubs, okay, we also need to focus on the defenders, in my opinion. I also curious to see their defenders. So at here I've listed down some of the players that I would like to have in my FPL team if possible. Based on the price, definitely we have to wait for the price release as well. So let's go with Leeds first. Okay, so Leeds, I think what interests me the most is their defenders. So the likes of Eiling, Stuart Dallas, and also their keepers. I think for the defenders, I mostly go with their fullbacks, either Eiling or Dallas. For Eiling, it's a regular right back. Meanwhile, Stuart Dallas, this one is an interesting one. He can play in the left back or even in the midfielder. So it's very interesting to see what he is going to be listed. To be honest, if he is listed as a defender, maybe I would go more to Eiling. But if Dallas is listed as a defender, I think I would go Dallas over Eiling because he has the chance to move forward more often compared to Eiling. The other one that caught my eyes is actually keepers of Leeds, either Kiko Casilla or Meslier, I think, Meslier, if I pronounce it correctly. But then the problem is that we still do not know who is going to be the regular number one for Leeds. So that is something that we have to wait and see. Okay, if you want to go a little bit forward to the midfielder, I think Jack Harrison or Pablo Hernandez, these are the two standout picks, I guess, if we are talking about Leeds United. Jack Harrison, loan, right? And then Pablo Hernandez is a player full of experience. The next one, maybe in terms of the forward, maybe only Patrick Bamford that interests me in terms of the Leeds players. Okay, so it's wait to be seen. So there are, I listed down here around 6 players to watch, I think, yeah, for Leeds. Eiling, Dallas, the keepers, which one? Is it Meslier or Casilla? And then Jack Harrison, maybe Pablo Hernandez, Patrick Bamford. Which one that we could go for? Then the next one is West Bromwich Albion. What interests me is the defenders. I'm always interested with the promoted teams' defenders. Reflecting on what we see from Sheffield, they provide very great value in terms of their defenders, right? So for West Brom, also the same thing. Ajayi, I think one of the stand out to me. Ajayi, looking at the gold thread, and maybe he would start with a 4.5 million, so it could be a very nice value for us early in the season because maybe we are going with a Trent or a Robertson, yeah, or expensive defenders, so premium defenders, so we can have some of the budget on Azayi. But then the one that interests me also is their like kind of talisman is Mateus Pereira from West Brom as well. This also keep on supplying goals and assists for West Brom. So he's someone that I'm looking for as well, watching very closely as well. The last one is Fulham. Fulham also again defenders interest me the most in Joe Bryan, the one who scored a brace to bring Fulham back to the Premier League. I think this is an interesting one. And their goalkeeper as well, Rodak, is also the one that I'm looking for to keep an eye on. And when we talk about Fulham, I think we should not exclude this player. It's Alexander Mitrovic, the talisman, the goal getter in front, the forward. I think last 2 seasons ago, if I'm not mistaken, 2 seasons ago, when Fulham was in Premier League as well, I think many of us had Mitrovic in our team as a third striker. So I think this could happen again for this game week or this season. So to be honest, I couldn't wait for the release of the new FPL season. And there are so many other things that actually interest me in terms of the big teams as well, like Aubameyang, will it be midfielder, will it be forward? And definitely we are going to see the next Lundstrom, because Lundstrom definitely I think will be a midfielder next season. But we are going to see which of these players that are going to be out of position again, which one is a nice one. In the last season, the one that just passed, we got Lundstrom. The last 2 seasons, we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a £4 million. Another one is £4 million defender as playing as a starting 11. I think the likes of Tariq Lamptey could be an interesting choice next season. So we'll see in the terms of the changing of position, Aubameyang whether it stays forward or become a midfielder. If he becomes midfielder, maybe there will be a different approach in my playing style. Maybe could go with 5 midfielders instead of 4, maybe 3-5-2 instead of 3-4-3. Another one is to be seen is whether Rashford will be listed as a midfielder or forward, or Martial now become forward. So these are the interesting part as well. So many things to guess, many things to see. I couldn't wait for the fixtures to be released, because I think the moment the fixtures release, the games, the new season, FPL's new season will soon be launched as well. So until then, hopefully to see you in the new FPL season. I'll be posting my new league code. I'll be posting, maybe if possible, I'll make a game week 1 preview about players that could be chosen, that could be included in our teams. Until then, stay safe, everyone. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.